Well, 2005 had a lot of hits in the world of video games, but there is no bigger hit in my opinion and for my money than True Crime New York City. True Crime New York City came out again. This is 2005, published by Activision. Yep, that's right. The same Activision that is known almost exclusively right now for Call of Duty. They were involved with Crash, Bandicoot, and many other games. But this was Tony Hawk, and Tony Hawk's actually being redone or been revised. But True Crime is an IP that was lost. The last True Crime, technically, I guess if you want to say the spiritual successor to these was what is it? The game that came out for I guess it was on PS3. I think it was PS3, Xbox 360, or is it Xbox One? I forget. It was the Crime Dogs or whatever that thing is called. I'm totally blanking on the name, so sorry about that. But anyway, regardless, True Crime, the actual IP, was left behind in the PS2 era, sixth generation. There were two games. You had True Crime Streets of LA, which I'll be doing a video on at some point in the near future, and True Crime New York City. Now, I cannot pick which one I like better. I frankly think you should appreciate both because they are different. Um, True Crime Streets of LA is obviously based in Los Angeles. I think there's a heavy emphasis on hand to hand combat because the guy is like supposedly a master in martial arts or whatever, but True Crime New York City is also a lot of hand to hand combat. Uh, I think the gameplay is very equal. It's a different landscape, and that's the main difference. Slightly different story, but similar concept. Um, you're a police officer, you're a detective. You have free reign in an open world like Grand Theft Auto, but the difference is you're a cop. As you'll see in this gameplay, I just left the precinct. Although in this game it's weird. They gave me a car that I had damaged previously, and they don't fix it. So the precinct didn't fix the car. And as you can see, I end up just bailing out and changing cars. Now, you can steal other cars, including police cars, in this game. The cops will let you take it because you are a cop. If you flash your badge, they'll actually just get out of the car. Um, but yeah, you can just take whatever cars you want. And the beauty of this game, and it's the same for both games, but we'll focus just on New York. The map in this game is Manhattan. And in this game, you can just drive around the city, and even if you don't do any missions, what will happen is the game will automatically generate crimes for you to resolve. And there's two ways to resolve the crimes. One way is you can just kill the suspects. You can shoot them, beat them, whatever. The other way is you beat them to a point where you can arrest them. Or if they are not resisting, you can simply arrest them. Now, if you only kill the bad guys, if you kill innocent civilians and only kill the bad guys, you actually eventually will get a rating that will, I think they'll actually demote you. In reality, though, for the most part, you can resolve crime however you want. You can't kill innocent people as much as you want. If you do that too much, you'll actually end up getting chased by the cops yourself. But for the most part, you have free reign as police officer to make arrests. You can frisk anybody you want, and sometimes random frisking will actually lead to you uncovering people who are holding drugs or drug paraphernalia, things like that, and you can arrest them. Um, this is an IP that it is criminal that it's been left behind. I played The Precinct. I have that on my Xbox Series X, and let me tell you something, man. That game doesn't sniff true crime. The Precinct is stiff. It's not really free reign. They don't allow you really to do whatever you want. This was Grand Theft Auto as a cop. And I know in the era of the sixth generation, especially by 2005, everybody was claiming that any sandbox open world game was a GTA clone. Let me make this clear. This is not a GTA clone because the angle of you being the cop is such a huge differentiator. Number one, this isn't trying to be a fake city. This is New York. This is Manhattan. I grew up in New York City. Now, they're not giving you the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens. No, you can't leave Manhattan. But for a map of Manhattan, this is as realistic as it gets. They even give you the specific streets that you're driving on and the cross streets and what direction the streets are going. From the city buses, you can actually take the subway in Manhattan anywhere you need to go. This is a very realistic map. This is not a GTA clone. It's so realistic that in the game, when you buy the box or when you buy the game, if it's an original, what you'll have is a disclaimer from from the New York City Police Department that says this game is not approved, endorsed, or connected in any way to the New York City Police Department. The game is fictional and does not represent the views, policies, or practices of the NYPD. That's how realistic this thing was. They had to tell you that it's not realistic. Beautiful. And on the back of the manual for this game is an advertisement for another IP that's been lost, game called Gun. That's another Activision game that's pretty good. So anyway, this game is also easy to find. Became a greatest hits, so you should be able to get it at most retro game stores. You can see here, I went into a gun shop. I bought an AR-15. Now, I didn't really need to do this. Frankly, your pistols are usually good enough. But you can buy other weapons. Now, like I said, this isn't a GTA clone. They don't have the same variety of weapons. I wouldn't say they have the same variety of vehicles. You're not going to fly helicopters, planes, any of that stuff. They're not trying to be Grand Theft Auto. They don't achieve that in this game. What they do achieve, though, is a fun story, really good voice acting, high quality voice acting across the board. They have a realistic map. And the gameplay, I would say the combat is more diverse than Grand Theft Auto, from the sense that this is like pretty high level, almost Rise of Honor style hand to hand combat mixed in with some Activision gunplay. Now, it's not always easy to control the shooting. I will say that. Even though this is Activision and you're thinking Call of Duty, don't get your hopes up in that regard. It's not Call of Duty from a gunplay standpoint. Even when you zoom in and you're like in a very close third person zoomed in mode, when you're shooting, I find it hard to accurately like shoot. It's actually easier to kind of run and gun. And sometimes you lose health quickly. So that part of the game, in the missions, I think can be a little difficult at times. But overall, this game is beautiful. The beautiful part is not the missions. It's not the story. It's driving around as a cop and being given random crime. So what happens is as you're driving, the dispatch will say, there's suspect in your area, bums fighting reported. Like in this one, there were two bums fighting. Now I accidentally killed one by banging into the car and running him over. Now the second guy, and this is here, I'm like kind of trying to remember how to actually play the game. So I was like running around in circles because I couldn't remember. Now there I flashed my badge. He actually gave up when I flashed my badge, and I decided to hit him with the bat just because I felt like it. I don't remember if did I kill this guy or did I just beat him? I think okay, I didn't kill him. I hit him with the bat a couple times. He still stayed in a he gave up, put his hands up, so I ended up just arresting him. And by doing that, I actually get a positive for resolving the crime. Now it tells you, so I resolved the crime, one dead, one arrested. But the beauty is this kind of stuff, the randomness, driving around the city and being told, and it's all kinds of different crimes too. Sometimes you have to dissolve a bomb in a building. Sometimes you have to stop a hostage situation. Sometimes you have to stop a stolen vehicle. Sometimes you have to stop people fighting. Sometimes it's a disgruntled coworker. Sometimes it's a reported shooting. Sometimes it's all kinds of stuff. And that's what makes it fun. So you're not going to get bored driving around solving crime, because as you drive around this big map of Manhattan, there's a variety of crime. And I think it's way more fun to do that than it is to actually play the missions. And what happens is, as you're driving to your mission, you're going to be hit with constant like opportunities to resolve crimes. And sometimes other police officers in the game, like the AI, sometimes they are already working on the crime. Like, and then you'll just kind of join in. But you'll almost have to resist doing this. And this is part of the gameplay too. Like, you could slow down and shoot, while you're driving. Not always easy to do, but it's still fun. Um, you can see here now we're on Central Park West. But you'll have to almost resist solving the crimes, because if you're driving around, you almost forget that you're supposed to do the missions, because it's so addicting to just constantly stop and do these like cop missions. I guess they're side missions, but to me, this is actually the more fun part of the game, is the random crime. And then, so in this case, one of the guys that stole the truck, I think he got out, if I'm not mistaken, or did he die in the explosion? I forget. And that'll happen too. You'll be in a chase. Sometimes they'll get out and they'll try to flee on foot, and it continues, which is a lot of fun. Or sometimes they'll get out and give up, or sometimes they just explode. If there's an explosion in the game. But the variety is amazing. And that's what's such a sad part about modern gaming versus today. Where's the creativity to do games like this? To give us a sandbox, to give us an open world where you can do this. They don't have it. I mean, this is, to me, the replayability of games like this goes far above and beyond even like just a Grand Theft Auto, because even though Grand Theft Auto Online is a world of fun, like, it's like set missions and then randomly doing stuff with other people. But like, if you're just playing offline, it can get boring after a while. Like, this to me doesn't get boring because you have constant missions and generating crime to solve. And they don't have a lot of games where you get to be a cop and do whatever you want now. Police Simulator, the game is freaking awful and boring. The Precinct, another one, stale. Like, they just don't let you do stuff like this. I mean, look at this stuff. Like, this guy, I forget what the issue was here. I think this was the gun wielding coworker. That time I just gunned him down because he was already shooting. So when they're shooting, you just got to shoot him. I mean, you're not gonna be able to get up on him and arrest him because he'll take you out. So you got to do what you got to do. And they don't, and the game, they're not gonna ding you for that. If, especially if the suspect has a gun and they're already shooting, you're allowed to go ahead and go in guns blazing. That's fine. Um, and I know they said not a great variety. Like I said, they have cars, trucks, buses. It's New York City vehicles. You're not gonna get. It's not like Grand Theft Auto where you're gonna get a jetpack or fly a helicopter or anything like that. There's no airport here. Like, you're just in Manhattan. So there's motorcycles, there's city buses, taxi cabs, police cars, stuff like that. But you're not getting anything like crazier than that. Like, this one, someone had stolen a bus. Um, and I think so. This one, yeah, the guy got out and he actually had a gun, which I was surprised. And that's like this. That's the cool part too. Sometimes it's like more innocent. This guy had a gun and he's not going down without a fight. So now in this case, I decided to. He shot at me and then he ran away. So I have to chase him down the street. Nothing like this in any current game. This is what the value of the sixth generation really is. These games here. And again, True Crime LA, similar. Similar crimes. I don't remember if it was like an exact copy, but it definitely like similar crimes. Different map, obviously. I recommend both of them. I don't really have a personal preference. Right now, I'm probably playing more of the Mission of New York, but you could certainly go back and play True Crime Streets of New York and have Streets of LA and have just as much fun. I'm like, I don't even know where I am in that game mission wise. I'm probably a little bit closer. I think the graphics in New York probably are a little bit better, but you got to remember PlayStation 2, there's like a graphical leap in the in the beginning, in the middle part of the console life cycle. So in True Crime LA, that game came out. I'm looking at the box here. It looks like 2003, and this is New York. This one came out in 2005. So the 2 years, the from 2000 late 2000, I guess this PlayStation 2 was released in November of 2000. So 2003, I still consider that part of the early cycle. 2005, now we're getting into like where they're starting to really maximize the power of the system. And I think graphically it shows like it's not that LA doesn't look good. It does. It really does. And you're going to enjoy it. It's probably slightly cleaner looking in the New York one, but they're both really fun. And I'm probably gonna play LA right after this, just because I haven't played it in a little bit. But I promised you on this channel that I'd be digging into these classics, and I wasn't kidding. And this is a classic, and this is not a hard game to find. Get out, whether you do it on emulation or you get it on a physical PlayStation, whatever you got. I'm playing it on my physical PS2 and having a world of fun with it. This is a mission. Now, in this mission, I think I died. Um, the missions are fine. They're fine. It's just, I think the missions are actually, like I said, I think the missions can be a little less fun because it's just a lot of bad guys. Sometimes the health becomes an issue. Sometimes, you're stuck in like doing things in a linear like sandbox. Or it's like a linear mission where you're in like tight quarters or whatever. It's not a lot of variety in terms of how you can resolve it. It's not Hitman or anything like that. So I don't know. I have more fun and I find myself like laughing and smiling more when I'm doing the randomness of the city. But I would say mix it up, do the missions, do the side missions, and then do the random police stuff as you're driving around. I think that's really the fun of it. And the other thing is, if you do the random police stuff often enough, it's going to force you around the map because as you're driving, you'll have a mission, like a crime will be reported. You'll go to that crime. Usually, the dispatch will tell you about a crime in your vicinity. So it might be a few blocks away. Then, if it's a chase, you're going to end up driving a few more blocks. You're going to find you're moving on a left, right, up, down, all over the map. So it helps you to discover more of the map. And I wouldn't say you can go in a lot of buildings, but part of the missions you'll have to go into buildings, which is cool. And then there are places to go inside, like the gun store and stuff, but it's on the map. So, it's not I wouldn't say it's not Vice City or San Andreas level with open buildings or anything, but it's open enough, and the map is very alive with all the crime and stuff. That is one thing I will give it credit for. Um, if you've ever played Driver 3, it's a beautiful map and it's a decent enough game, but the map is kind of dead. There's not a lot of people, and it's just not a fun map. There's not a lot to do. Um, I would say it's pretty dead. Whereas this map in True Crime is very alive. There's a lot of activity going on, a lot of people, and the crime really makes it feel like you're in a really vibrant city, which it is. Some GTA clones, quote unquote, the maps are really bland. And you'll find that you're in a nice looking map, but there's nothing happening. And that's when you realize the detail and the level of a Rockstar, even Activision in this case, that they did such a great job. Um, so yeah, again, this was a long-winded way of me saying I recommend this game because I do, and I would suggest picking this thing up at any retro game store. You'll have a ton of fun with it. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, go ahead, play it. I hope you enjoyed it. I will take any requests in the comments, but feel free to make suggestions of anything else you'd like to see. I just got Rise to Honor delivered to me, so I'll probably do something on that at some point. But between this and I'll do True Crime Streets of LA shortly, while I have the time. And I have some wrestling games that I probably should do some footage of because I've been playing them a lot, but not really recording anything. Like Here Comes the Pain and Shut Your Mouth. Shut Your Mouth is just so underrated because it falls in the shadow of Here Comes the Pain. So that's something that'll have to be done. Um, and yeah, among other things. But I'll take requests. And I'm also going to be bringing my Nintendo Switch into my game room. I've had it downstairs for a while, so I'm open to some Nintendo stuff. But I've been, trying to focus more on my PlayStation 2 right now, for the time being. But I'll take requests for the Switch as well. So anyway, that's it. We'll continue to have some fun here on the channel, and as always, I hope you continue to have fun as I like to do here in the Corner Arcade. All right, thanks everybody, appreciate it.